Welcome to Pario Magazine, where I chat with individuals who have a desire to create. Today, I'm joined by a TikTok influencer who has carved out a niche reviewing Sydney pubs. Welcome to Pario Magazine, Jackson Carr.
Mate, hello.
Howdy. Uh, so, something different. We're here today to chat about your journey through the world of TikTok and hospitality. Before
Yeah.
we dive into that, do you want to give our audience a little intro as to who Jackson is away from social media and pubs? Is there a Jackson away from social media and pubs?
I don't think so. That's the thing about it all. Like, I guess my whole life since I've been an adult has been revolving around nightclubs, DJing, hospitality, working in marketing, hospitality, going to pubs with friends. It's just, like this literally, like, I don't know, I sometimes go for a walk. I used to run. I ran a marathon once, but that's not anymore.
Not running anymore. Don't you have one
No,
coming up?
I just no. I don't think I'm that anymore. So I'm just focusing on the pubs at the moment.
Fair enough. So yeah, since you've been able to, you've been going out to sort of nightlife venues, pubs and stuff. How did you discover that passion for hospitality? Was it just you went to a pub and then you're like, I love this, and then that became a career?
I think, like, honestly, it all started when I was a teenager. I did at school, like, Duke of Edinburgh, and part of the Duke of Edinburgh was you had to do a skill. And we used to go to this as a this pub called the Nelson in Bondi Junction. Everyone asked me, I say it's my favorite pub in the world. I love it, Universe. And I did the skill there. I went, believe it or not, I was cooking in the kitchen. I don't know what I was doing there. I was like 14, 15. And I've just always been around pubs. So, like, we'd always go to the Nelson once a week and have a feed there. And I kind of got that culture of going out to pubs. Then when I hit like high school, when I was like 17, I started getting into like electronic music, like Bang Gang DJs and all that, and started going to nightclubs. And I was like, oh my God, I just love going out. And it's just kind of evolved from there. Like, I've always like pubs as a place to go to hang out with friends, family, or like de-stress or just have a meal. Always loved going to nightclubs. And then I just started DJing stuff. And it was just a beautiful concoction of both of those together. And I've been lucky enough to spend, what is it, 15 years, 16 years across either going out to nightclubs, DJing, working in hospitality marketing stuff. And it's just, I don't know, I just love it. It's the best.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think pubs are some of the best places to go for a meal. Like it's
Yeah.
affordable and it's always.
Yeah.
I've ever been to a pub and been like, that meal was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I've been doing these, obviously, been going to pubs for years, but I've been doing these reviews for a couple of months now. And like, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with a pub meal. Whereas, like, I've been to, thanks to work, I've worked for some companies that had some like finer dining restaurants, and I've eaten at them, and I haven't really liked it. Or like, I'm a bigger guy. Like, I used to work for a company and went to this really, really, really fancy restaurant, had like a 7 course degustation or whatever, and I went to McDonald's afterwards because I was still hungry. And like,
Yep.
I went with some friends who are foodies, and like, this is amazing, but it just wasn't for me. Whereas I just think a pub meal is an accessible place you can go to and eat by yourself or with friends, or you could be friendly with people, and it's just such a hospitable place that people like, and always it's just such a part of, I guess, Australian culture.
Yeah. I feel like the meal's always satisfying. You always leave there being like,
Mm.
I'm good. I'm happy now. And
Yeah,
then occasionally you'll hit one where you're like, that was mind blowing. I've never had such a good
yeah,
meal.
yeah, big time, big time.
And then with TikTok, how did you discover TikTok? Were you sort of one of the early adopters?
So I downloaded TikTok like a month or two before everyone's favorite thing in the world, COVID, just for like work, because I was working for an events company, and they were, the boss was like, oh, we need to get on TikTok to start promoting what we do. So I kind of downloaded it because we also were like looking at doing some events with some like K-pop, and that was very much in this world. TikTok was slowly getting bigger, and then I think that I've been quite adamant saying I think the best thing to ever happen to TikTok was COVID, because everyone went into a lockdown and you didn't have anything to do, and you just had this thing on your phone where you could just watch things for 5 seconds or 30 seconds. I don't think they had a minute videos at that time, and it was just a break from reality, and you could just get a serotonin boost. So I spent a lot of time in lockdown, like watching TikTok videos, and then I first started like opening packs of rugby league cards, and I did that for a couple of months, and then I stopped. and I've always just been on and off it. Like then I started doing vlogs for a little bit, that fell off, and then I was doing fitness stuff, and I just kept bouncing around. And then the other couple of months ago, I went to a pub on my lunch break at work and did a review. I'd done a few before over the years, and nothing really happened. Did a review, and it had like 30,000 views, and I was like, wow! And it's just evolved since then. So I've
Was that
been
one
on
of
it for
the
far
like?
too long.
Was that one of the roast reviews?
No, it was at PJ O'Brien's, and the funny thing was, I did a video there like 3 weeks before, and it was like a Guinness and a pie special, and I did it, and I had like 1,000 views. But then I did another one, and then it just blew up, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe. I've always said to people in my life, maybe I should do pub reviews on TikTok, or maybe I should go to pubs I've been before and do a video, and I never did it, and now I'm just like, why didn't I do it sooner? Because over the past 4 months, I've gained like 5,000 followers, which isn't like crazy numbers compared to like big people. But considering I was on it from 2020 and got to like 4.5 in 2024, and then I've now doubled that in 4 months, it's kind of cool.
Mm. Yeah, it's like a very exponential growth.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, your TikTok content has evolved. Who were some of the inspirations and influences early on?
So, in regards to the pub reviews, or in regards to just TikTok in
Just
general,
just TikTok creation and video creation in general.
I guess like I used to watch when I first started doing all the vlogs. I used to watch people do like day in the life, and I found that really interesting, just as a way of like documenting your day. I can't really remember some. I guess you can see like Anna Pauls and all those big influencers, but it'd just be interesting to watch someone document a day, and then it's like, oh, that's nice. You've seen the day in 30 seconds or a minute. So I started doing those, and then just being like looking back. But then I did a lot with like an ex, and then like I just stopped doing it because I was like, I don't look at those anymore. But then when
Mm.
it comes to pub reviews, I guess I'd always watched food content and engaged in it and liked it and really liked it, but I never thought it'd be something I should do. But I'm a firm believer of if you engage in a type of content, that's the content you should be making if you want to make content. So I just had this realization. I was like, oh, I love watching people like Isaac Eats a lot, who I've actually become friends with, and he's a legend. I was like, this guy's good. There's this guy from the UK, Window Kid, who just does pub reviews. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm watching so much food stuff. And then you got like, and that's what you reckon with all his food stuff. And I've always been very vocal about loving his stuff. I was like, I'm engaging in this content. It's what I like. I'm going to put my own spin on it. And then that's when I started, I guess, doing these pub reviews. So, yeah.
And then, yeah, with your hospitality background, it did make sense for you to transition into this new era of the pub reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've worked in hospital for 10 years, and like that's the perfect thing. Like because of my background, and then I was working for a company called Solotel until April, and when I was at Solotel for like 2.5 years, it was one of the best places I ever worked. I was looking after pubs, but now at my new work, which was White Group, I love where I am, but it's bars and upmarket restaurants, so I miss the pub side of things because it's more accessible. Whereas like my venues, it's like go up to bar 83 and it's a minimum $30 spend for like two
Mhm.
cocktail or a cocktail or a beer, whatever. Whereas pubs are more accessible and it's easier to go. So I was like, I'm just going to start doing these pub reviews because I go to pubs enough and start doing these videos, and I kind of know what makes things tick. So like I do things like I'll film the menu so people can see what's going on, or I'll film like the food specials, and yeah, it was just the perfect landing where I was with it all. So yeah,
And especially like because you've had that long history with being involved in different aspects of hospitality, coming out of COVID and knowing from
mm,
experience how much a lot of these places were struggling. It is a
yeah,
nice way to sort of give back a little bit, I guess.
yeah. Like that's what I've said. Like I'm no one. I'm not even at 10,000 followers. I'm nothing big, but it's just like my way of giving back and being like, hey, this is cool. I've had people comment being like, I've been here since. I really liked it. I've had venues reach out to me like, thank you so much for coming in. Like we appreciate it. I know I'm not doing God's work, but I just feel like I'm just kind of giving back. And like even today, I did a pub review. I have an hour lunch break. I just went there and came back, and then I've already got a message from one of the ops people that works there because I used to work for the company that owns it. She's like, "Thanks for going. Like the venue was struggling a little bit. We're not expecting anything from it, but it's just nice to give back and show some love." So
And like I love watching them because you're just giving like that honest guy off the street review. You're not going in there and being like super highly critical of the food. You're just like, this is what it is, the
yeah,
staff, the venues. What I've really enjoyed as well is seeing the evolution of pubs. Like some of the pubs
yeah,
now that have got rid of pokies and have arcade
yeah.
rooms now. I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Like I did like Wednesday. I was at Andale Hotel. and they used to be owned by Oscars when I worked there, and I swear they had pokies. But then all of a sudden they have an arcade room. When I went to the Henson, they do. I don't showcase the pokies in the venues. It's clear that all 80-90% of the venues have pokies. But then went to the Henson, they had pokies, but they also had the arcade room, and the arcade room is hectic. But then I went to the Duke of Enmore the other week, no pokies. I've been to a few that don't have pokies, so it's nice to have that. But also, don't want to support the pokies, so I just don't say anything about them. But yeah.
Yep. And there's been some incredible looking food too. Like some of
Oh
those
yeah,
schnitzels and stuff. I mean, like, that's
yeah,
a pub schnitzel. That looks
yeah,
like a restaurant
yeah.
schnitzel.
Even today, when I went to the Livingston Hotel, I got trying to be healthy. So I got a bowl and it was like chicken and rice, but then it was covered in gravy. So clearly, that was out the window. But then the chef was like to me when I got it, it was one of those things where you go and collect it, and he goes, "You're from around here?" I was like, "No, no, I'm from like here." And he was like, "You should have got the schnitzel. It's really big." And I was like, "Damn." And then I saw one schnitzel. I was like, "Oh my god!" And it was a lunch special for $16. So it was just crazy.
And I loved the vegan pub too. That was a nice drop
Yeah,
for everyone, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. Like because I walked past it like 4 times a week on the way home, and I knew what it did, and I saw a couple of people make videos about it, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to go to a vegan pub. But then I was walking past, and I was like, you know what, this might be a good angle to get some views, and I might like it, I might not, but I'll still try to talk it up no matter what. But yeah, the burger was amazing. Like if I hadn't gone to Lady Hampshire the week before, that would have been the best burger I had. Like it was like just so good, and it just goes to show how much vegan foods evolve, but it also goes to show don't judge a book by its cover, and that's why like I like going to these venues because you've got like me that likes meat, but then I really enjoyed it. So yeah,
And like you mentioned, the profile has grown pretty significantly over the last 4 or 5 months. Have you been surprised by the response to the reviews?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Considering I've done, as I mentioned, I sporadically would do pub reviews here and there. I'd love to go back and look at the old ones and just see what it was like. But I'd get like 1,000 or 2,000 views, which is still great. Don't get me wrong, but then nothing would have from it. But yeah, seeing like having like some of the videos had like 80,000 views, 50,000, 60,000, 20,000 views, I'm like wow. But I also kind of know why it's blown up a bit as well, thanks to my time I've spent on TikTok and my marketing. So my whole angle with this is replying to people's comments,
Mhm. Yep.
and my whole thing with that is it encourages people to comment, and then people are like, oh, he's replying to comments, which people just give them that little like boost. But the other thing I like about encouraging people to comment is people are so passionate about their pubs that they like that they're going to give you a good pub to go to. That's why I know I'll never get like a bad one. Like I've had like people being like, I've commented a few times. When are you going to this pub? Like a guy before literally goes, I've commented a few times. Why haven't you been to Beverly Hills Hotel yet? I don't even know where Beverly Hills is, but I'll go there. But I know people are so passionate about their pubs, and like that's another beautiful thing about it is because I get to experience what people like, and it means a lot to them. And it's just not like some random off the like street that's like, oh, I went to bougie place once, go here. It's people that will go there regularly and frequent it. So yeah.
Yep. And then you get recognized at those pubs when you finally do show up and test
Oh
out the food.
yeah, it's happening more. Even walking out, I've got like it's happening more and more now, which is cool. I like it.
And you've sort of given a couple of tips in there of do do content that you enjoy watching, and then
Yeah,
that try to encourage the interactions. What other
yeah.
tips would you have for people that are looking to grow on social media in general, but particularly on TikTok?
I just think just be genuine. Like I'll see a lot of food reviewers and they'll be like, guys, I had the best pizza in my life. You need to check this out. Or like you'll see them start the video and they'll hold the food as the hook in to get people in. I don't like that. I just like being more genuine. Or like you'll see like companies that these companies are amazing. They're great that they're supporting venues and they go to venues and showcase it and make the videos more polished than I do, rather than me just walking around being like game over. But you'll see it, but then
I
they'll
love that
flood
hook,
the
by the
thing
way.
with yeah, it's good. Huh? When I did the PJ O'Brien's, it was game set match, but now it's gone to game over. But you'll see people and they'll flood the comment like the hashtags, and then at the bottom they'll be like invite, and you're like, that doesn't seem as genuine to me. Whereas like it's good that they're profiling and they might get paid, and that my work works with some companies, and we know will give people contra, which is cool, which is what they do. But I've got one free feed so far. I've just spent my own
Mhm.
money, and I think I've got a few free ones coming up with some really cool collabs, which is cool. But I just think be genuine and just don't like do the cliched. Say you're doing a food review, being like, you have to have this, or like the best in, rather than like overemphasizing the cliche words. Just be genuine about what
Yep.
you're doing.
Yeah, because like these people pop up and go, "This was the best pizza," and then like a week and a half later, they've gone somewhere else and now this is the best pizza. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
every single
Yeah.
pizza is going to be the best one. Like every now and then you're gonna be like,
Yeah, exactly.
that one was a bit average.
Yeah, like it was like when I watched Isaac Eats Lots content, who's probably my biggest Aussie influence. He's just so genuine. He'll at the end of his reviews, he'll give his honest feedback about the food, whether it's a collab or free. And I know he pays and goes his own way as well, which is really cool. And I just think because he's so genuine, and I picked his brain out of this, I think because he's so genuine, that's why people like it, and they're like, "This is cool because you're supporting, because you're passionate about what you're doing, whether it's food or if you're a passionate like podcast like yourself, and you're just so passionate about doing it and interviewing different people, or you're passionate about bikes. I don't know, there's a bike there, or like I don't know whatever. As long as you're passionate about it and like people can see it, I think that's really a genuine thing in this world because there's so many fake people
Mhm.
online. Like,
Yeah, I was speaking to a wrestling interviewer and podcaster for the last issue, and she was saying the same thing. Like that genuineness and the passion comes through. Like not everybody has that upbeat, crazy energy every time, but if
yeah,
there's the
yeah,
passion there, you can tell.
yeah. And it's funny with me. Honestly, there's been times in the past I've gone to do a pub review and I'm like, I can't believe it, I just don't want to do this, and I'm still it's me going there my own way. But then when I get there and I walk in, I'm like, this is cool, I like it, and it's something that always in the back of my head. I remember when I was in school, I went and saw Wolf Mother play at the Hoarder Pavilion. I was like 17, and somehow I got backstage tickets with a friend of mine, and the Jackass guys were there. And whenever
Oh,
the camera
yep.
wasn't on them, they were just like dead to the world, probably on whatever they were on. But as soon as the camera came on them, that passion came out, and they were just like, wow, 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 wow. And I don't know, that's always stuck in the back of my head, being like, if you're passionate about something, once you're doing it, you'll just change into whatever the person is. Like I
Yeah.
could be mentally having the worst day, and I can go to a pub, and then as soon as I'll feel myself before, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jamie, for commenting. I'm at the Livingston Hotel, but as soon as I walk in, I'm like, I'm on, and I just feel so much better, and I just
So then, since you're the man to ask, what are your top three Sydney pubs for anybody that's visiting?
The Nelson Hotel in Bondi Junction. I'm very biased, as I said. I've grown up going there. It's the first pub I did that at. Family went to, friends. We always went there. It's family owned. I just love it. It's got its own gravy station. So if you're getting food, you could literally get a schooner glass and fill it with gravy and then just sip it like a Raising Cane's thing. But I think taking away the Nelson, I think my favorite pubs. I might have to pull this up. Sorry, just because I'm. I think my favorite pubs that I've been to would have to be Sydney Park Hotel. It's just the staff there are really good. It's a really nice inner west pub. Um, where else? I really like Jimmy's. It's an Irish pub in Randwick. It's more like it's not. There's no pokies. It's like laid out like a bar. It's near the dog, but it's a pub, and it's just really nice, and it's really cool. And then, so we went there. I might need a big one in the city. You really put me on the spot here. This is good.
The, there's a
I mean,
there's
I'm
a
quite
couple near
biased towards.
there's a couple near George Street that seem pretty good as well, like the
I
cinema.
mean, Edinburgh Castle, the Eddie, is an amazing pub that Solitel owns. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say September. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Whatever. They're closing in September. They've new people are taking over the lease, so I don't really want to. Like, that's a great pub run by great. The staff there are actually amazing. But because they're shutting down in September, I don't really want to say that. But even PJ O'Brien's probably just a good. I just like Irish pubs because Irish people are the best people in the world to drink with, and the food's amazing, and Irish food's trending so much at the moment. So let's say the Nelson, but not being biased. Yeah, PJ O'Brien's, um, and yeah, those ones are good. I'm settling there. I'm settling there.
And
Yeah.
you're definitely not a fan of a Guinness at all.
Nah, can't stand it.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, no. I think I try to also with these reviews. I try to support not pubs that are owned by big groups as well. So that's kind of like, especially as you said, the Soultel venue. I just think those ones are just nice because I don't know. Big pub groups are great and they're great with what they do, but it's just nice to smaller pubs as well because they have less budgets for marketing or whatever. So yeah,
Even I've noticed down here where like in Nowra, there's
mm.
3 pubs, like the 3 main pubs are all owned by the same company. So their menus
Yeah,
across all
okay,
3 pubs are exactly the same.
yeah,
I'm like, well,
yeah.
that
You'll see that.
defeats the purpose. It's like, yeah, I'm in Nowra, there's 3 different pubs, but they're all the same. They're essentially the same place. Why would I? I'm only ever going to
Yeah,
go to one.
yeah. That's kind of what I've seen at a lot of pubs owned by big groups. You'll just have your same core menu items, and the food specials will be similar and stuff, which is like
Oh, these ones
cool.
are
But that's
exactly the same.
yeah, yeah.
3
I
venues,
think
the exact same menu. I was like, what? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Like it's a bit of a cop out, and like I don't know if it's they don't have the resources to make it better, or they've got a group chef, but like not to blow smoke up Maryvale, they do their stuff very well. All their food menus will be different. They might have like a hero item like a Jimmy's wrap at another venue, or they might have a El Loco hot dog at another venue. But they're because they've got such that comes back to having a big budget because they've got such big budgets and they've got such big teams, they can kind of do the different stuff. Whereas you look at other pub groups that might have the same things everywhere. So it just comes down to like resources and what they have behind them, which is just the way it is.
Yep. So then looking to the future, how do you see the TikTok profile growing? And is there like a particular pub on the bucket list, sort of either in Sydney or expanding beyond Sydney borders?
I think I know one thing that's going to keep growing the more I do these, my belly, but that's fine, part and parcel of it.
Yeah, you've
Um,
put yourself in a dangerous position there.
yeah, I have. Honestly, I just want to keep doing it and just enjoying it. Like, I want to do some fun collabs with some like content creators and stuff. I've got like next week, I'm actually going to the Red Lion in Roselle to do a collab with Manu from My Kitchen Rules, that celebrity chef, which is surreal. Like the fact that I'm doing something with him, I'm doing something with
I
someone
just wrote an
from
article about that
Maths.
pub.
Oh, hey, should have got that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing something with a girl from Maths. She doesn't do pub reviews, but I'm friends with her. She hit me up. I was like, oh yeah, okay, we'll do it. I don't know. I just want to keep. I just want to have fun. I just want to do it. Like maybe one day I want to do like there's run clubs. I haven't said this to anyone yet, so this is hot off the press. I was thinking about it recently. There's run clubs
Mhm.
that people go on. I want to do pub clubs, and I just want to pick one day on a weekend where people can just come to a pub
We just
and just
bombard a
drink.
pub with 20 people.
Yeah, yeah, and just come to a pub and just because a guy hit me up and he goes, "Thanks for coming to my venue. Like, I appreciate it. I really like you should do a meetup. Like, I've just moved to Sydney. I don't have a lot of friends. I'd like to meet some like-minded people. And like, I just want like you see like TikTok famous people meetups. I just want to go to a pub one day and be like, hey, it's the 24th of August. I'm going to Nelson. If anyone wants to come down, just have a couple of beers, meet some like-minded people, and just have a beer. I think that's and just create a community about that, doing that once a month, and just going and supporting venues and like yeah, I'm a big believer with all my stuff I'm doing at the moment. I don't want free stuff from venues. I want to give back to venues. I will take
Mhm.
the occasional opportunity here and there, but I just like doing it because I like it. I have 2 jobs. I'm fine. I think the end goal is just to do a monthly pub club where I just go to a different venue and just people come down, have a beer, have a feed, and yeah, I think that'd be a nice thing to do. And then yeah,
Even then, like, I don't think you need to sort of take anything from the pub. I think just the
yeah,
idea that's an opportunity for them. I think they'd be very keen to get involved and sort of push it out to their audience as well. Like, there's going to be
yeah,
all these extra people here. Like, come down. This is the day to come to the pub
yeah.
for a special occasion. I
I
think that's great for you to grow as well.
Yeah, I also think it's good as much as I always find it ironic talking about alcohol and mental health because alcohol is so bad for mental health. But I think it'd be a nice thing to do just to get people to come down and just like there's like men's clubs around you see or men and women's club or there's running clubs that people do stuff. But just not nice to sit around at like a pub and just be like, hey, I'm going here for an hour, just have a couple of beers, you can meet some people and then do whatever you want to do. I think it'd be kind of a cool I think that's the goal. Like I've always said I want to get 10,000 followers, which will happen in a couple of weeks, but that's the next thing I'm going to start working on and just figure that out because I think it'd be like a cool thing to do just to get like-minded people together.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Like, support the venues, but then also, yeah, create that community so that new people find new friends and have that support network.
Yeah, like a friendship speed dating, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Awesome. So obviously, where is the best place for people to support and track the creative journey? Obviously TikTok, but what's the handle and all of that?
It's Jax double underscore car, CARR, JAX double underscore car. I'm actually going to start posting on Instagram once I hit 10K. I'm going to start posting every video moving forward on there as well, like a day or two after, just because that, like, I've
It makes
spoken to
sense.
people and like, yeah, people are like, I don't use TikTok or like, I can't because of my job, whatever. So I want to start doing that once I hit 10K because then at least I've built that, I keep growing and I'm not diluting it. But yeah, at the moment, TikTok, but give it a couple of weeks Instagram, and then maybe I'll start doing YouTube videos, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, YouTube have the shorts function as well, so
Yeah,
it's essentially TikTok, but you're limited to 60 seconds there, so they've got to be real short, which is a pain. I hate that.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Speed run pub review.
Yeah, you could use like even some of the clips that I'm sharing. There's the YouTube short, which is like a really cut down version, and then there might be the Facebook or the TikTok version, which is might only be 30 or 40 seconds longer, but you have to cut that
Yeah,
off, which is a bit annoying.
yeah,
Hopefully they
yeah.
expand that to a couple more minutes.
I do it all on my phone on TikTok as well. I don't have fancy apps or whatever, so I probably need to look. I was speaking to Isaac Eats a lot about it, what he does. I think I might have to look at like using something that's not in TikTok so I can kind of do that. Because at the moment, yeah, I just literally film, stop, film, stop, film, stop, film, and then I'll go back and like shorten stuff if I'm doing like the millennial pause, being like, and I'm at, and then after that, yeah.
Yeah, I personally would highly recommend CapCut. That's what I've been using
Okay, yeah,
recently, and
yeah,
it's fantastic.
yeah,
It's
awesome.
just
Okay,
a lot of their stuff is behind a paywall, but you can
yeah,
get
okay.
away with basic functionality.
I mean, I can probably ask my work just to get them to pay for it. I'll be like, I'll
Yeah,
do more videos. Like it's yeah,
yeah, yeah. I'm sure they would chip in for Adobe subscription or whatever if you want to
yeah,
make videos and stuff.
yeah, big time.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, and good luck, and maybe get back into some running as well.
Yeah, probably.